you, Lord. I trust you, Lord. You may be seated in the presence of God. I trust you, Lord. Oftentimes in life we struggle from the standpoint of really sometimes we good right there, not knowing who we can trust. Oftentimes trust has caused many of marriages to be shattered. Trust have caused many of friendships to be broken. Trust have caused a lot of family members to fuss, to fight, and to argue. Simply because there is a little belief in being able to trust. Oftentimes I find myself sharing with individuals, whether it be by way of marriage counseling, if God is going to allow this thing to happen as a couple and be able to bring you together and unite you in holy matrimony. One thing that there must be is trust. Trust has caused many of us not to want to come home at night. Trust has caused many of us not to want to deal with certain situations anymore. Trust has caused many of us not to even want to go to work. But if you're going to become successful in this life, there's one run-in that you must have. And that run-in is with a word called trust. Trust on many different occasions. It plays a pivotal part of any relationship, whether it comes by way of physical or spiritual. As a matter of fact, the reason why we serve the Lord, that we serve the Lord on today, is because at the end of the day, we know if there is somebody that we can lean on, if there is somebody that we can trust in, it is nobody but Jesus Christ himself. When all else fails, we know that we can look up towards heaven and call upon the name of the Lord. But is there anybody in this house on this morning that can testify to the fact, in other words, you've been down this road before, when everybody else let you down or couldn't come through? Is there anybody that can be honest enough to say that there is a God who sits high and looks low, and he never fails, and he makes a way out of no way? Is there anybody that can be honest enough to get on your feet right now and just bless God because you trust God and God can trust you? Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I don't know where I would be. I trust you, Lord. Oftentimes, it being a parent, one thing that I've tried to instill in my household, it's a simple factor of with raising kids. There must be a level of trust. Yes, sir. I've shared with many of households that whatever you do in life, you do not have to lie about the situation. Whether it be you talking to me as your father, whether it be you talking to your mother, whatever the situation may be in the household, one thing is for sure, my son or my daughter, is for you to understand you do not have to lie. That's right. That's right. Back in the day, Cyrus, I remember hearing when you tell one lie, it leads to another. When you tell two lies, you got trouble. Whatever you do, trust can get you out of the situation, but a lie will keep you in it. Mm-hmm. That's right. And oftentimes, back when times was real hard, being raised in families by ways of maybe a grandparent or somebody, it was not a belt, but oftentimes you found yourself, if you came up with a lie, first off, you was going to get your mouth washed out with soap. Y'all too young to know anything about that. If you said something or done something that was not only not pleasing in God's sight, but was not pleasing in the elder's sight, you would not only get a whooping or something thrown at you, but your mouth would be washed out, not with toothpaste, but with soap. Anybody ever been down that road?
Yeah.
So we have to make sure in our households that we have an understanding. Son, if I can't trust you, there ain't nothing that I can do for you. Daughter, if I can't trust you, there ain't nothing I can do for you. And then if some of us would be honest enough to say that we have bumped into individuals and we made this statement, I trust you as far as I can throw you. Anybody ever been down that road? But trust is key. Trust is key. I try to share with individuals, whatever you do. See, there's a difference between a mama and a daddy. A daddy would say, leave them down there. But if a mama have a relationship with a son or daughter, a mama would say, I'm going to get him.
That's right.
So whatever you do, sons or daughters, don't lie to your mama. Because when daddy says you stand down there, it is your mama that will come and get you. Anybody in this house can be honest enough to say, I hear you, Pastor. Whatever you do, you don't have to lie. Two types of individuals that I do, I just don't get along with too good, Brother Terry. One is a liar and the other one is a thief.
That's right.
Because a liar will steal and a thief will tell a lie. I'll give you. I love it when it's like this, man. I'll give you anything, but don't steal. Don't steal from me. Some of us in the household, we were daddy, mamas and grandmamas, whoever house you went over, they wasn't hiding anything. They weren't locking up anything. The worst thing that you could do is put your hands on something in the house that did not belong to you. That's right. I ain't locking up no doors. I pay rent here. Why do I got to lock myself out of my...
That's right. That's right.
I shared with somebody just on the other day at work. I shared with a contract. I said, man, I've been working for Vanderbilt over 20 years. I'm the one that put the locks on, request for the locks. I'm the one that fix the lock when they get broken. He looked at me. I said, in other words, how you going to lock me out of Vanderbilt? You can't lock Vanderbilt out of Vanderbilt. You just cannot. As a matter of fact, give me your keys. Trust. Trust is something that is very essential in this life, y'all, if we're going to make it. And here by way of the text, we have Solomon, who was a man of wisdom, sharing with the people of God, whatever you do, man will let you down. Man will lie to you. But one thing is for sure, you can always trust in the Lord.
That's right. That's right.
Is there anybody that be honest to say, Pastor, I've been down that road before? Oh yeah, I felt like Marvin Sapp when I never would have made it. Yeah. But if it had not been for the Lord, I've been down that road before. When family members told me they were going to have my back, but they set me up looking at me to fail, and they stood way back. But if it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? And if you live life long enough, you'll understand what it is to go down the road to where you got to trust in the Lord. Somebody says, Pastor, right now I'm being bothered. My patience is just crazy. My patience, my mind is playing tricks on me. I'm caught up in my feelings. But one thing is for sure is that I trust God enough to know that he does not get in a hurry. But he tells me, don't you worry. The reason why I trust him is because I know he is connected to the kingdom. So now I understand, y'all. A lot of the old sayings, when I was younger, I didn't understand. But now that I have matured and got a little wisdom and have grown a little older and a little dimmer, now that I understand this thing, when the old folks used to sing songs like, I will trust in the Lord. I understand, Brother Marvin, songs like, the Lord will make a way somehow. I understand songs like, if the Lord doesn't do another thing for me, he's already done enough. And when you know that God is God and he's able to do all things but fail, you will get to the point to where you know even at the last minute, God can make a way out of no way. Yes. But I trust y'all, we got to take our trust to the next level. Sometimes our trust can be trying. Somebody says, Pastor, I'm dealing with it right now. I'm going to put it to you where you can really understand it. You know how you trusted God to wake you up this morning? Oh, you trusted him. No matter what time you went to bed on last night or this morning. But you trusted in God enough to wake you up this morning. Am I right about it? Yeah. That's the same way, y'all, that we have to be in our life. In our situation. The same way that you trust God to wake you up in the morning. It's the same way that you got to trust him in your household. It's the same way that you got to trust him in your healing. It's the same way that you got to trust him on your job. It's the same way that you got to trust him in your family. We have to take our level of trust to the next level. Sure, sometimes we become angry, aggravated, and upset. But I know that God can be Johnny on the spot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that he can be an instantaneous God. In other words, I know that while we're trying to figure it out, that God done already worked it out. And when you trust in the Lord, it'll make you do some things that you normally wouldn't do. It'll make you pray for your enemies, even though you know your enemies don't mean you no good.
That's right.
Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, that's called trust. That's called. Trust will make you stay on the battlefield. Trust will make you love your enemies. Is there anybody in this house that's trusted in the Lord? Right now you got a situation, whatever the situation may be, you're in a crazy season, but you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that God's going to bring you out and you are trusting in the Lord. If that's you, just nudge your neighbor and tell your neighbor, I'm trusting in him. I'm trusting in him that God will do whatever he said that he would do. Solomon here, y'all, a man of wisdom, had to do one thing. He had to trust in the Lord. Think about the most hardest decision that you had to make. And you made that decision not based on what you have to think or what you have to say. But you made that decision based on the Lord. Oftentimes I share with individuals, in this 13 years of pastoring, I've shared with individuals a time or two. Listen here, baby. I can't argue with God. If you come to me as your man of God, as your pastor, and you say that God has done told you something, first off, I'm going to require discerning spirit. Try the spirit by the spirit to see if it's of God. Second off, if God has told you something, I can't argue with God. You got to do what God has directed your heart to do. Now here is the trip part about it. Oftentimes, because we become aggravated and we get caught up in our feelings, the devil can come to our mindset in a form of God. But it's not God. To make us think that it is God. Okay, let me go back on you. You remember the story of Job, don't you? Job and all they went through. Job was a man that loved God, that eschewed evil, that trusted in God. But he was reminded when he was getting ready to go through the season that he was getting ready to go through, that the devil was going to come to him in a form of godliness. Okay, Pastor, give me some more. Let's go to the 4th chapter of Matthew. In the 4th chapter, I love it when I ain't got nobody clothes and all that old stuff. I love it when I can teach. So, in the 4th chapter of Matthew, we find our own Lord and Savior, a man who had done no wrong. We find him getting ready to go through a season to where he was going to fast and pray. And the moment that he tried to get close and closer to God, to have an intimate relationship with God, up jumps the devil.
That's right.
You ever been in a season where you were doing everything? I mean, everything was going good. I mean, everything you were popping. You were popping. Everything was going good. And then up jumps the devil. The devil will do that. But you got to be able to have enough strength and trust in God to be able to know the devil when you see the devil.
That's right.
So Solomon says this, y'all. He says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. First off, in order for us to be able to trust in the Lord, it requires a heart. In this life, I have bumped into some individuals a time or two. It seemed like they was heartless. You ever experienced that in life? I mean, just heartless. Make you begin to think, how are you even existing? You don't care about nothing or nobody but yourself. You don't even have a heart. But Solomon reminds us as the people of God. Now, I pray that I'm helping you all on this Sunday morning. Solomon reminds us, Deacon Dad, that if we're going to be all that God has called us to be, you got to have the heart of God. See, when you got the heart of God, this is what happens. when you got the heart of God, even though the forecast has been forecast to have precipitation and freezing rain and things like that, when you got the heart of God, regardless of what you got to do, you're going to get to the house of God. And the reason why we made it on today, it is because we have the heart of God, and we are sensible enough and smart enough to know and understand that on tomorrow there will be those that will get up 3 extra hours early, regardless of what's on their car, what's on the street, to go to work. But Solomon says, Dr. Davis, he says, your trust, it requires your heart. There are some of us who may have experienced somebody that could cook real good, and we make statements like, boy, that tasted real good, she put her foot in it. Well, when you really begin to think about it, you don't want nothing that somebody's done put their foot in. Especially if you really think of how some bad feet look. But it's the saying. It's the saying. Watch where I'm going. But if you can get to the point to where you understand, you recognize, and you realize this individual really has put his heart in it or her heart in it, and they have a heart for God. Mm-hmm. Give me an individual that's got a heart of God, and we can go somewhere. So Solomon says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Okay, let's put it this way. Some of us, we work jobs that we can't stand, but the only reason we still there is because we like to play. Mm-hmm. But if you really think about it, if you love what you do, regardless of the pay, you'll appreciate it. How many of y'all have been through a season to where you said to yourself, they really can't pay me what I'm worth? I'll say it. I'll say it here at this church. I will say it. But when you have the heart of God, when you have a heart of God, things change. I could have been at a million churches that would have built me a house, that would have put me at a six-figure salary, that would have provided for me, and done all of these things. But I got a heart for God. I got a heart for Gethsemane. I love each and every one of you, and that's why I do what I do on a Sunday basis, is because my heart. Amen. And I hope you all appreciate my heart. Amen. That's why I do what I do. Man, I go to war with any one of you. I'm there for you. So when you've had a heart transplant, what do you mean, Pastor? Because there used to be a time before you was in Christ, when your heart wasn't right. Oh yeah. When you needed triple bypass. Yeah. Open heart surgery. Because some of the arteries where the Holy Spirit is trying to flow was blocked. Am I making sense? But that's why you deal with situations differently. It's because your heart is right. Before your heart was right, somebody say something crazy to them, and you take a cold drink bottle and hit them upside the head. But now that your heart is right, you look at that individual and you pray for them and you tell them, go on now. Go on. Solomon says, I'm making sense. He says, trust will require your heart. A lot of relationships fail because of lack of trust. It caused you not to put your whole heart in it. Why did he say, y'all, my heart? Everything that we do should come from the heart. When we do something in life, we do it from the heart, not because we expect anything back. You ain't got to tell me what to do and all these other things. I do what I do because I want to, not because I have to. And the church says, but because of my heart, things begin to happen. So what are you saying, Pastor? I want you all to know that your heart unveils the real you. Jeremiah 29:13 says, seek me, find me, search for me with your whole heart. If you don't do it and your heart is not in it, then it's going to fail. But trust requires the whole heart. Matthew 15:8, Jesus was on the teaching ministry with his disciples. And he was sharing with his disciples. He said, be careful. Because some people that you will see, they're not in it for the right reason. He said, be careful with how you operate in the kingdom. He said, because some people, these people, Matthew 15:8, he says, these people draw nigh to me with their mouths. Or in other words, they got a good mouthpiece. I'm going to make it where you can understand. They got a good mouthpiece. But their heart is far from within. Jesus said to stay away from them kind of individuals. But when your heart is fixed and you got a made up mind, that's when things begin to change and you fully begin to understand what trust is all about. So trust requires a heart. Secondly, trust requires a mind. So what are you saying, Pastor? In order for me to be able to become effective in the kingdom, not only does my heart have to be in it, now my mind has to be in it. Have you ever been so messed up to where your heart and your mind was broken? And you thought to yourself, what in the world am I thinking? What have I done? Everything on me is broken. My mind is broken. My heart is broken. My wallet is broken. My purse is broken. Everything on me is broken. But then there are those of us who know that we can be broke but still blessed.
All right. All right.
Oh yeah, I know I'm right about that. Yeah, we can be broke but still blessed. He says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Then he says, lean not to thy own understanding. Your understanding comes from your mind. So trust requires a made up mind.
Made up mind.
So in this relationship with God, it requires us to make up our mind. But in the spiritual, God is showing us that our mind needs to go to the next level. So he says, I got your heart, but now I need your mind. And sometimes we begin to pray prayers and begin to ask God, where is he? And our minds become all messed up and discombobulated, disarrayed, and we just messed up. We tore up from the floor. Our mind is messed up, our heart is messed up, and we don't know where we go from here. But Solomon was a man of wisdom. He says, when your mind begins to become cloudy, he says, lean not to thine own understanding. Why is he instructing us to lean not to our own understanding? Simply because of this. He knows that we will go through a season to where our mind, our head, is connected to our body and it's kinfolk with our heart. And he knows that we will go through a season to where we'll get caught up in our feelings and then it will saturate our mind. So when you begin to go through that season, God has to remind us that it's not about you. He says, lean not to your own understanding, but acknowledge me in all your ways, and I will direct your path. So now, God, you're messing with my heart. And now you're messing with my mind. God, I'm just all messed up. Let me share with you in this place on this morning. There ain't nothing like being messed up for God. If you messed up for God, you all right. If there's going to be a mess up in my life, I would love to be messed up for God. So he says, lean not to your own understanding. What do you receive out of that right there? It's bigger than you. Oftentimes we fail in life, physically and spiritually. Physically, because we're in a relationship where you're selfish and you think it's all about you. But a relationship requires two. It ain't always about what you want. Sometimes sit back, shut your mouth, and ask him or her, what does she want or what he want? And the church says, amen. It ain't all about you. So if I can get my mind right, Solomon says, in all thy ways, acknowledge him. Wait a minute, Pastor, you know, my mind is messed up right now. Can you help me out? Isaiah 55:8 says that our thoughts are not his thoughts, and our ways are not his ways. So if we could just focus more on the Lord than everything else, then everything else will be all right. Listen, we can't outthink God. We just can't do it. We're not strong enough. We're not powerful enough. Learn how to put situations and issues and things like that, whatever it is that's on your mind, whatever it is on your heart, learn how to put them in God's hands and leave it alone. God doesn't need my help as your pastor. He doesn't need your help. All we need is God's help. Amen? Amen. But when your mind is made up, that shows God that you're truly trusting him in the situation. So what do I do, Pastor? Because my mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes, and I'm just all messed up in the mind. Philippians 2:5 said, let this same mind be in you, which is in Christ Jesus. Lean not. Ain't about you. Ain't about me. But we have to learn how to trust God. God gave us trust. And he wants us to hold on to it. Oftentimes you have heard me make this statement. If I had my choice between a piece of land and $1 million, you can have that $1 million. Give me the piece of land. Because if I don't have a piece of land, that $1 million is going to go by the wayside. But if I got a piece of land in the right heart, oh, God will take care of my needs. And he'll give me some of my wants. Won't he do it, church? So it's all about our level of trust. So trust requires a heart, and then trust requires our mind. I leave you with this. In trusting in God, we have to understand that when it's all said and done, after our heart is in, after our mind is made up, that God will make a way. And I know I'm not only talking to myself in this house on this morning, but I'm telling you, as certain as my name is Marlo A. Marthel, I'm telling you, I'm a living example that God will make a way. All right. And there are those of you all that need to be honest enough. If you could take 30 seconds just to get on your feet and just acknowledge, you know, there's been a time or two in your life when you know it wasn't nothing but God. As a matter of fact, if that's you in this house on this morning, go around and hug 5 people and tell them it wasn't nothing but God. It wasn't nothing. Go around and hug 5 people and just tell them it wasn't nothing but God. I know it didn't have nothing to do with me. It was nothing but God. I've had a but God moment. In other words, I understand that God will make a way. I understand that God will hear my prayers. I understand that God will answer my prayers. Truth be told, all of us have experienced a but God moment. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, I wouldn't be the individual that I am on today. Somebody just shout, but God, but God. God made a way. Do you receive it? Put your hands together in this place on this morning. If you receive it with but God, put your hands together in this house on this morning.